guys, welcome to today's lesson. My name is Srinidhi. I'm an educator on Unacademy. You guys can follow me on Unacademy by downloading the Unacademy Learning app on your phone and kindly check out the YouTube channel as well. So this particular course is called Daily Hindu Analysis, where I'll be picking up a few difficult words from the Hindu newspaper and I will give you guys the meaning along with its usage in a sentence. So let's get started.
Hey guys, so without any ado, let's get started with the first word. It's boycott, and I'm sorry for the spelling. It is B-O-Y and not B-Y-O. I'm terribly sorry for that. So boycott, which means to withdraw from commercial or social relations with a country, organization, or a person as a punishment or protest. So here you are withdrawing your commercial or social relations. That means you are putting an end to your social relations or commercial relations with a person or an organization or a country due to some misunderstandings or differences in opinions as a punishment or protest. So for example, students boycotted the school management due to their decisions. That means the students were not satisfied with the decisions of the management and hence they boycotted. That means they protested against the school. Okay, look at the next one. Most parties indicated that they would boycott the elections. That means they are withdrawing or they're protesting against the elections that is going to take place. So most parties indicated that they would boycott the elections. Pay attention, wherever I've put we, it's a verb, n is a noun, adj is an adjective, okay, and adv is an adverb. Okay, so I will mention it as and when I'm doing it. So this one is a verb. Next one, knack. Knack is a noun. That means a skill at doing something. He has a knack for sketching. He has a knack for communication. He has a knack in drawing. So that means he's really skillful in that specific field. Okay, so you can use this in your day-to-day lives and say, for example, you can say he has a knack at driving. That means he's really good at driving. Okay, next one, cumbersome. So cumbersome is an adjective. So as I said, adj is an adjective. Slow or complicated and hence inefficient. So that means cumbersome is something very slow. Because of being slow, the results are very inefficient. That means the results are not that very nice or very impressive. For example, enterprises with cumbersome organizational structures failed miserably. That means enterprises with complicated organizational structures. So if you are a business student, you will know what an organizational structure is. So because of having a cumbersome organizational structure which proved to be inefficient, the company failed miserably at making profits. Okay, so next one, gore. So gore is a verb which means pierce or stab with a sharp object. Pierce or stab. Okay, for example, he was gored to death by a wild boar. So usually with a horn. So gore is, when we say sharp object, it's usually a horn of an animal. Okay, so he was gored to death by a wild boar. He was gored to death by a raging bull. So here you have the word gore. So gore is a verb. It will be used like any other verb, present, past and future. Okay, next one, tactics is a noun. So that means an action well planned to achieve a specific goal. So tactic is an action well planned to achieve a specific goal. For example, people employ various tactics to evade tax. That means they plan it so well. They make strategies in order to evade tax. That means in order to not pay tax. So evasion of taxes, not paying tax. So they employ tactics. That means they use various planned strategies in order to avoid tax. So you can use employ tactics to make your sentence more beautiful or more, how do you put it, more sophisticated. Next one, dispensation. It's a noun. So here I'll give you another hint how to find out which is a noun. So the words ending with ion is usually a noun. Okay, dispensation. That means exemption from a rule or a usual requirement. That means you're being exempted from a rule or that is a trait which is usually required. For example, although she was young, she was given a special dispensation to appear for the exams. That means she was exempted, or she was given permission in spite of being young to write the exam. Okay, so although she was young, she was given a special dispensation to appear for the exams. The next one is next meaning is the action of distributing or supplying something. That means regulations to monitor the dispensation of medicines in rural areas. So dispensation has two meanings. One is to be exempted from a rule. The second one is the action of distributing or supplying something. So the examples for both are given. So here in this example, it means that the child, in spite of being young, is exempted from the rule that she can write an exam. The rule says that she should write an exam only when she's of a certain age, whereas she's been given an exemption to write the exam in spite of falling below that requirement. Okay, next one is distribution or supplying something. Here the regulations to monitor dispensation, that means distribution of medicines in rural areas. Okay, next one, embezzle. So embezzle is a verb, embezzlement is a noun. So ION and ENT most of the times are nouns, but we usually we can't go by the endings of words. This is just a hint. Okay, next embezzle is a verb that is to steal or use the money placed in one's trust for personal use. That means somebody else's money which has been given under your which has been entrusted with you. You use it for your personal purpose in spite of not being the owner of that money. Okay, example, she embezzled millions from the company's fund. Okay, that means she used the company's fund, which is obviously not hers, but she was entrusted with the company's funds. In spite of being entrusted with somebody else's money, she used it for her personal use. So that act is called embezzle. Okay, let's look at the embezzlement noun form. Theft or misappropriation of money. Misappropriation of money is nothing but using the money for one's personal use, which has been entrusted, but in reality that money is not yours. It is someone else's money which is being entrusted to you or with you. For example, the court declared her guilty of embezzlement. So you see the usage, noun, the verb. So verb is followed by the subject, whereas the noun can stand on its own in a sentence. Next one, adhere is a verb. Adhere is to believe in, observe or closely follow. So usually adhere is to believe in or follow usually. For example, I do not adhere to the teachings of XYZ. That means any person. So I do not follow the teachings of this specific person. I say I do not adhere to the teachings of this person. Sorry. Okay. Next one. Surrogate is a noun. It's a substitute, especially to a person acting on behalf of another person in a specific role. So this act of a person acting on behalf of you is called deputizing. Okay. So deputizing is where one person acts on behalf of me. I can also call it as delegation of work. Okay, delegation, deputizing or surrogating. Now she served as a surrogate for the PM on a trip to Canada. That means she acted on behalf of the PM. The PM could not be in Canada, so in place of him she acted as a PM. That means she served as a surrogate for the PM on a trip to Canada. Please note, this is not a verb, so you cannot say she surrogated. No, she served as a surrogate, or she acted as a surrogate for the PM on a trip to Canada. Okay, next one, surrogate mother. So this is a most common word that we see in the newspaper. So that means the guidelines clearly mention the rights of surrogate mothers in India. That means another person who accepts to bear the child of somebody else's. So that person is called surrogate mother. So the guidelines clearly mention the rights of surrogate mothers in India. Okay, so these are the words for today. I hope you guys understood. What I would suggest is to make your own sentences and share it with all of us in the comment section. And if you have any doubts at all, please ask me in the comment section. I'll see you guys in the next lesson. Until then, bye bye.